I'm a servant leader.
Sure.
I'm there for the team. There is distance to some extent, but we're a close team. If you sit in an ivory tower as a leader, you lose all respect.
Sure.
And you also, from a cultural perspective, you lose touch. You need to be able to say why. You don't just tell people, this is why we're doing this. This is what it's. These are the implications. As a single leader, you could influence 150 people. But once a business gets bigger than that, you need systems and structures and processes to be able to kind of influence the culture and keep the culture together. So then you've got programs that then influence it. But as a leader, you've got to be accessible.
Hello, I am Dr. Maanda Tshifularo, and on today's episode of the SuperLead podcast series, we are joined by my favorite former boss, Laurence Hillman. He's a seasoned insurance executive with 28 years of experience, currently managing director of One Life and a Clientèle Group member. And this episode, Laurence shares his leadership journey and the lessons that he has learned over the years. He also reflects on the recent merger with Clientèle, highlighting key lessons from the experience. Laurence, welcome to SuperLead podcast.
Hey, Maanda. Good to be here, man.
Lovely. I can't believe after all these years, this is the first time on the podcast. So I'm absolutely charmed. We want to just start unpacking your journey. And on this podcast, we like for you to go as early as possible. Just give us a bit of context. Who's Laurence? Where did you grow up? And don't tell too many stories of the many things we went through at One Life.
I'm definitely going to tell a couple of stories about you during this podcast. So, yeah, Maanda, I mean, I young guy, born in Zim, grew up in the bush. That's where I got my passion for the bush. And then we moved to South Africa when I was very young, and I've grown up in South Africa. From a middle-class family, very humble beginnings. I went to government school, was a naughty chap.
I can tell.
I remember my English teacher saying to me, "You will amount to nothing."
Sure.
And a lovely guy, and he was great inspiration in my life. But he thought I was going to be a beach bum, and I probably could have been. But
you of all people.
No, I was naughty.
Okay.
I was naughty. I had a lot of fun at university. Didn't work too hard at school.
Sure.
So I say the exact opposite to my kids. You need to work hard at school. You need to work hard at university.
And you told me the exact opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I ended up. We had to do national service in those days, and then I realised, oh, hang on. I didn't want to be a national serviceman for the rest of my life, and went and studied, and worked hard, probably too hard, and then started in the industry close on 29 years ago, and about 28 years ago I got my first leadership role.
Lovely.
I was one of the youngest managers, I was one of the youngest senior managers, and kind of worked my way through different organisations, worked in the UK.
Sure.
Worked in South Africa for big insurers.
Yes.
And then started off, my real career took off at Liberty. Had a lovely time there. Good crowd. It was in the heydays of Liberty.
Yeah.
Things changed a lot, and with all the different mergers and ownership. And at 2008, kind of heard about this company called One Life.
Yes.
Just a startup and very small, and got offered a job there to head up the operations of the business.
Good.
And from there, kind of within a year or two, I was appointed MD and built the business. And I've been there for kind of 17 years. Entrepreneurial business, startup business, kind of grew it. Wonderful experience. Got a lot of other opportunities, as you'd know, working with me at TIH. And I look to head up another couple of startups, be the shareholder representative on a number of investments that the group made, and help build those businesses. You'll know, as an entrepreneur, it's always tough. You need some cover.
You do.
I was that cover to a lot of people,
yes.
and just helping them build their business, in a way kind of consulting to them, similar to what you do, man. So and then merger more recently with Clientèle, and I'm sure we'll chat about that later. So
we will, but I'm surprised you don't have grey hair post the merger.
I do. What I do?
Oh, you do?
Yeah, what I do is I generally cut my hair quite short on the side, so it hides the grey hair.
So Laurence, I've had the privilege of working for you as the general manager for operations. First, I don't even know how you were convinced to hire me, but that's I guess a whole new topic on its own. And I could almost say that I went through the Hillman Business School of Leadership. And I'm curious if you might maybe sort of share some of those leadership lessons from the many years of leading, over 28 years of leadership roles.
Yeah, firstly, I saw something special in you. And
okay, good.
You'll remember I courted you for a while. So, and I was very happy when you came on board. Yeah. And I think...
but I was young, I think.
You were, and I think you moved on too quickly. But
I
told you that. But I think you had some wonderful opportunities, and you went on to head up one of the brands, and you had a great role and great opportunity. Yeah, I think you bore the brunt of the Hillman School of Leadership with the daily check-ins and the coaching. It was fun. Hopefully you learned something, and I definitely learned something as well.
I did. But I wonder, the people that never got the opportunity of having Laurence meet with them every single morning, being the first meeting because we needed to turn a few things around. Like your views on sort of leadership and kind of getting stuck in with operations.
So just from a leadership perspective, you know my leadership style, you know me well. I'm a servant leader.
Sure.
I'm there for the team. There is distance to some extent, but we're a close team. I mean, if you look at the majority of the people that are working with us, they've worked for us for a very long time.
I saw a picture recently. I'm like, these are the same people.
Most of them more than 10 years. So it's a strong leadership team. We complement each other. I suppose a couple of things from a leadership perspective. I'm never going to be the smartest guy in the room.
Sure.
But I'm the guy who's coordinating.
Yes.
I'm the conductor.
Well.
And I'm putting the team together. And, I know where my skills lie. I know areas where I need specialist skills, and whether it be technical skills or whether it be other skills. And I look for the team. I look for complementary people.
Sure.
To leverage the complementary skills. I support the team. Obviously, I step in. From a team perspective, collaborative style.
Good.
I think you'd have done Who's Got the D with me, which was, who's got the D, who's deciding, who's being informed, and who's responsible. So, so we kind of define each other's roles. So
Sure.
each person has a different role in different circumstances. Obviously, if I need to step in, I will. You'll know that although you met with me every day, I don't micromanage.
Yes. But we were problem solving together, which was amazing. It wasn't, let me see. It wasn't micromanagement.
No.
Yeah.
I do step in. If there's a problem, you got to, as a leader, I definitely believe that you kind of need to be in the stratosphere and looking down and scanning the environment, scanning the company. But if there's a problem, you need to skydive in. And so, get your hands dirty, get stuck in, help the team and work with them, collaborate. Don't just kind of totally delegate. Sure. Delegation is important, but don't delegate where you got big problems. And help the guys. So that's kind of broadly my leadership style and approach.
And you have this engagement with everyone. So how many were we? I think a couple hundred people, 400 or 500 people. But if it's as if you knew everyone, and then open door policy, just a bit about just engagement with everyone in the team.
Yeah, man, I think it's critical. I think if you sit ivory tower as a leader, you lose all respect.
Sure.
And you also, from a cultural perspective, you lose touch.
Sure.
You need to know what's going on in your business. There's other companies. There's a bank I know where the executives go down to the to the floors and to the retail outlets to understand exactly what's going on there. And with our business, we're kind of 50% direct, 50% intermediated, and you need to be at the coalface. You need to be able to kind of walk around the floors, chat to the staff, have that relationship where they can kind of say to you, I'm battling with this today, or this is what's happening today, and know what's going on. Because if you don't, you're going to lose touch. It's also important to take them on the journey. People buy into the culture, and you'll remember I used to say to you, as a single leader, you could influence 150 people.
Yeah.
But once a business gets bigger than that, you need systems and structures and processes to be able to kind of influence a culture and keep the culture together.
Yeah.
So then you've got programs that then influence it. But as a leader, you've got to be accessible. So, for example, we've got an Ask Laurence email address where the guys can email me. They can ask me any question. I'll respond to them.
Yeah.
Generally, what we do with that is we kind of post it or send it out to everyone else, so that they've kind of got a sense of what's going on. So it's not just single people getting preferential treatment. It's everyone getting it. And then the other thing is that, I mean, you've heard the story about the guys going to the moon and the person sweeping the floor. It's that philosophy. It's when asked, one of the guys asked when the guys were going to the moon. When asked one of the floor sweepers, what are they doing? They said, I'm sending someone to the moon.
Oh yes,
so it's the same philosophy. So if you're dealing and engaging with your staff every day, and they buy into what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it's important that they know why.
Sure.
People will follow you, and they will go to the ends of the earth as a leader.
Sure.
If they believe in what you're doing, and if they have a sense of purpose. And you'll remember our purpose with One Life was changing lives.
Yes.
And what's interesting from a cultural perspective, and maybe a cultural learning from that, was that we didn't take it as top down. Too often, we've both been in academic environments, and you know the theory.
Yes.
And you don't want to issue an edict as a leadership team and kind of, this is where we're going, this is our vision, this is our mission, this is our values. It's far better to kind of build that from the bottom up and co-create that with staff, which is one of the things we did. And I think that was one of the lessons I learned later on in my leadership journey, was co-creating vision, mission, values with the staff, because then there's buy-in, and then there's a sense of purpose. Then I feel a sense of belonging, and then I'm emotionally invested in seeing the success of this organization. So
Lovely. You've been a CEO of one organization for over 15 years. Like how? Some of us.
I think how.
How do you? What keeps you there for that long? Wouldn't you kind of get, excited about potentially maybe let me go to run another insurer?
So, I've been very fortunate, and I've always worked for a sense of purpose, and I've been able to kind of create that sense of purpose with the team and with the company that I was in. We've been given the freedom to innovate, and you'll remember, we were first to go direct, first to sell online, first to go mobile, largest direct life insurer for 11 years. We've innovated, and I was involved with Telesure, as you'll remember, with the innovation side of things.
Yes.
I was involved in overseeing, the shareholders' interests and a lot of the startups or a lot of the initiatives. So I was very fortunate. So that kind of gives you a lot of diversity.
I see.
And also being able to shape and innovate continuously, kind of. It keeps things interesting.
Okay, so you didn't have the opportunity to sort of settle down and be complacent?
No, never. You know me, never complacent.
So we spoke about the culture, and I think we used to run themes with the staff. Maybe just if you could just unpack that.
Yeah, so that's something we kind of started probably about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, where we had a theme for the year. And the idea with that was to say, okay, what's our strategic direction? So, building a strategy, I mean, you know the story about strategy and culture and all that type of thing, but we'd have a strategy. But to bring that strategy alive and to give it a connection with the team, we'd have a theme. So we'd always have a hashtag, because most of the staff are a lot younger than me. So it was quite cool.
These days, I feel like they're also a lot younger than me. It's scary.
So and So, for example, last year with the merger,
Sure.
and we'll talk later about the merger, but just the theme last year was hashtag change starts with me. So there was a connection to changing lives, which is our purpose.
Oh, stunning.
So,
Yes.
but change starts with me means that the change and the merger is all in my mind. Wow. I have control over the change and my response to this change. So there was the thinking behind it.
Stunning.
And it was to make it individual and make it purposeful to them. This year, for example, we talk about new frontiers, which is that kind of, as we bring the two organizations, we look for synergies and opportunities to grow.
Lovely.
And we say change starts with us.
Sure.
So it's kind of bringing in the theme together. We're coming together as a broader group. Yes, we run separate businesses. Yes, the brands are separate within the broader group. But the opportunities to create synergies are there. So, that sense of purpose is important to the team, and it's important that they kind of get behind the objectives, because then you link that to the objectives. So, what's our strategy? You'll remember. Yes. What's our strategy? What's the objectives for this year? What's the goals? And then how do we target them and go for it?
Lovely. Maybe then we talk about the merger. So you're leading One Life within the TIH group, and then what happened?
So, interesting. Yeah. So, mutual shareholders of the Clientèle Group and TIH saw an opportunity to put all the life companies under one umbrella and get economies of scale. And so the merger, a lot of debate, a lot of wrangling around price, value, all that type of thing. It needed to work for both sets of shareholders. But the beauty was that they're both entrepreneurial shareholders.
Okay.
They both are very progressive, and so the opportunity came to kind of bring it together, and it made sense. On numerous fronts. It made sense. So, One Life sold 100%. TIH sold 100% of One Life for 26% shareholding in the Clientèle Group. And I think where the opportunity is on a number of different levels. You've got economy of scale, you've got obviously cost and all that type of thing. But more important, you've got synergies.
Right.
And really, in the last kind of year, since we merged July last year, and it's up until now, it's been about getting the staff onto campus, making sure the systems and the processes all work, bringing the teams together. But on a strategic level, there's a number of different things. You've got... we're now a serious mass market player. What you've also got is you've got a diversity of channels to different target markets with different product sets. So you can kind of strategically look at how you target the market differently, which has been really useful. In terms of bringing the people together, it was...
So maybe before we get there, so there's potential opportunities. The merger is announced. I think then there's time that passes. So I just want to go slowly from, so what's happening within you as a leader? There's been a lot of mergers and acquisitions that have gone pear-shaped. What's happening with staff before anything goes live? And how are you managing the team now before this becomes an eventuality?
Well, let me firstly say that I've been party to a number of acquisitions in various organizations and mergers. For me, this is the best I've ever seen.
Oh, good.
It's been absolutely incredible. And
now we need a playbook for this. Yes.
So, and maybe that's the life lesson and the lessons learned. Two companies came together. I think the opportunities are absolutely incredible. But the way we handled it, I think, was what secured and made sure things merged well. So if we start off at the beginning, early on I was involved in the discussions before it was kind of announced, and kind of lots of toing and froing around value and this and that and next thing. And there's uncertainty. You meet people, you get to know them, and they're lovely people. The guys at TIH and the Clientèle guys are, very similar. Entrepreneurial cultures are very similar. So I think that's been good. That's worked really well for us. Wonderful people, and it's an absolute pleasure. And just they've gone out of their way to make us feel welcome.
Oh, good.
And
good.
Just a couple of things from that is on the TIH side there was group support.
Okay.
shareholder support, and obviously with Tom and TIH from a group perspective there. And then on clientele side, you've got Basil and the shareholders, and they're mutual shareholders, but Basil and the team and clientele driving the change across and sensitizing the broader group and communicating. So yeah, a little bit unnerving initially, and how are we going to do this? But I think, we plan and strategize and think through stuff, and we had a good plan. One thing we did early was engage with the staff.
Okay, I want to see that engagement.
Yeah,
so how did it happen? How did they respond? All of that.
So, I mean, the first thing we did is before we announced it, we put a staff plan together.
Okay.
Key from a strategic perspective, 3 things we agreed, which also helps, is that we agreed that there'd be no job losses, and I think that's key, because that just takes the sting out of things, and obviously we're going to look to optimize and that type of thing, and if we lost people along the way, we probably wouldn't replace them, but it wasn't our objective.
Good.
Secondly, we agreed to keep the brand. And thirdly, most importantly, we agreed to keep the culture. So we run the businesses now as separate businesses, but we're under a Clientèle Group's umbrella, and the values are very similar. Up front, what do? We planned.
Right.
And we had a whole change management program. We sat down and brainstormed it as a team. We sat down with internal TIH people, clientele people, and we made sure that the plans were aligned, that the communication was consistent through all 3 organizations, TIH, One Life, and Clientele. So, and then we engage the staff. And the key there is just to be transparent.
Sure.
And, if you don't know the answer, say, I don't know the answer.
Sure.
We had an open forum. We got together, we positioned the merger. We positioned the rationale for the merger. We positioned what the impact would be for people, and there were impacts. For example, we used to have a hybrid working policy.
Yes.
We no longer have a hybrid working policy. We have a work from office policy under the new group.
Sure.
That was massive change, as you know, because you like your freedom, don't you? But good lessons learned there. And I think what we did was we communicated clearly, upfront, and well in advance. And we engaged. So
because some of your team members were outside the province.
Correct. And so they were. We still got an office in Durban. So that we've kept. We still kept the office in Durban. We had people all around the country. So we had to engage with them and take them on this journey. I think what was good was that in that open forum we'd answer the questions. What we did was we captured the questions, and then we published all the answers on the intranet. So what everyone got to see what the answers were if they weren't there, or if they're different sessions. So we had multiple sessions. So you might have missed the questions at one session and at the other. Ask Laurence's email address. So anything we answered, what we did was we gave that individual person the response, because people are insecure. They're worried about their life, and so you need to answer to them personally. Sure. But at the same time, it also their questions might be interesting or relevant to other people. Then we published that, and we were totally transparent. If we didn't know an answer, because a lot of the time you don't know the answers, you're still kind of finding your way. Yeah. And we would tell people we don't know the answer, but and then we did get back to them. Sure. And then continual programs, continual engagement programs, continual update sessions, continual communication. Sure. We probably over-communicated, but I think it was a good thing.
Very good. And when you say there will be no job losses, people went skeptical?
They were. No, they were. Yeah. No, and I think, you as a leadership team, they buy into you as individuals. Sure. They trust individuals, and you've got to deliver on what you can deliver on. So that's why it's important just to be honest. If you know the answer to something, don't string them along. Just tell them the answer straight. Sure. I think people accept things if you are able to position the rationale for it. Okay. You need to be able to say why. Okay. You don't just tell people. Sure. This is why we're doing this. This is these are the implications. I think the other thing that we did was we positioned clearly the opportunities, because there's always going to be development opportunities, broader organization. So it's not just one organization. Now there's multiple organizations within the group. There's opportunities for development. I think the other thing was, the small things are always the big things.
Okay. Say more.
It's little things. We had a program where we used to give our staff fruit and oats every day. Now that was important because you can imagine you're getting on a taxi at 4:30 in the morning. You've got dropped your kids off. You get into the office. You're 2.5 hours in traffic, and you get into the office and you haven't had something to eat. You know as well as I do. I mean, you like your food. Yeah. So you need to have something to eat. So that was one of the things that we had on the previous, but we couldn't put that same thing in place with the move. And the reason for that is just it was too big. It didn't have the infrastructure. It didn't have the capability. But what we did have was we had clientele loyalty and their perks program.
Oh, good.
Which in there you got vouchers for meals. You got vouchers for the various retailers. You got vouchers for movies. You got all of those perks as staff. Yeah. So we replaced the one thing with something else of greater value.
Fellow still.
And that could serve a similar purpose. So we did that. Another example would be the transport thing was a big thing.
The buses. Yes.
So we were just honest up front and we said, look, it's the new location is actually easier. Yes. In the old location we had three stops to get to the office. Now you only had 2 stops at the most. So it was easier for people to get there. It was cheaper. To a large degree it was more convenient, but people, as you say, don't believe you until they see it. So what we did was we took everyone on the bus, took them to the new offices, got them used to it. Okay. We had Basil and I welcome them, take them through the tour of the new offices before we moved in, so they knew where everything was. So it wasn't a surprise on the day that they arrived. They knew where they were going. They knew how to get there. Sure. It just takes all that fear out of things. So it's just practical, simple things.
Sure.
And then, just kind of engaging with the guys. The transport thing was one, giving the guys routes, showing them different routes, different alternatives, that type of thing. And just being transparent.
Sure. Now, build-up, love the build-up. Now, day one and week one and month one, how does that look like?
Yeah, so day one was incredible. I mean, I said to you, we were made to feel so welcome, and I give credit to the Clientèle Group for doing that, and Basil and the team. It was wonderful. Sure. Just the way we were made to feel so special, and we had our own building, which is great. That makes a big difference because we were able to kind of keep everyone together. What we also did from a psychological perspective is we kept the layout very similar to what we had.
Oh, lovely.
So that whole open plan, branded. So our vision and our values are up on the floor, walls,
everywhere.
On the posters, in the toilets. Everywhere you go, we've got our brand.
I see.
And so what we did is the look and feel, and even the color scheme was almost the same. So it was almost like a home from home.
I see.
Then the other thing we did was we distracted the guys. And what I mean by that was, like, the day we arrived, if I'm worried about transport and I'm worried about I've got a new route and traffic and it's like it's different. We put a competition in place from day one.
Okay.
So we distracted the guys. So we had prizes, and so they were just focused on producing the results. And it worked. It worked. The guys exceeded our expectations.
Sure.
I'm so proud of them. They did not miss a beat.
Sure.
In fact, we did better.
Okay.
The irony. We did better than we were doing. And I think it was just because the guys were so focused. And they wanted to show and prove who we were. One Life is very proud of them, of their brand and of our company. So I think that worked well.
Sure.
So competition's fun. Also, big office launch. It was lovely. I mean, I think we had balloons at the gate. We had a not a red carpet, a blue carpet. We had a drone. We had photos taken, and all of that builds back into the kind of the whole cultural diary of the business. So. Newsletters and our communication on our intranet, on social media. The guys feel part of the kind of the journey. So I mean, that was day one.
That's day one, and then the months, the weeks, they're getting used to coming to the office. Are they enjoying this thing now of having to be at the office every day?
So I think there's different philosophies, and I don't believe there's a right and a wrong philosophy.
Okay.
I think it gets down to the individual and it gets down to your mindset. So you'll remember I said to you, we said the theme was #change starts with you.
Yeah.
So it's your mindset.
Sure.
It's how you as an individual embrace that change that determines how you respond to it.
Okay.
You as a leader, how you respond to it determines, and that kind of permeated through the organization.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, it was difficult, and we acknowledge it.
Okay.
But what we did do is we warned the guys. So we gave them, a year's warning.
Sure.
So they could change for those guys who were working hybridly. Remember, our operational guys were already back in the office. Post-COVID, we all came back in. So all the call centers, all the customer services guys were in the offices. Yeah. But the guys who were the specialists, those kind of
that didn't need to be
they didn't need to be interacting with customers. They could work hybridly. So now what we did was with them, we notified the guys in advance. They had a year to start making their plans to change their lifestyle, because I mean people set up their lives and lifestyle. I think what we've done as well, which I believe we did well, was we made sure that the environment in the office was conducive to being one that you wanted to come to work.
Good.
So
very good.
From a collaboration perspective, from a vibe perspective.
Sure.
Give an actuary a pizza on a Friday and let them go paddle on a Thursday afternoon if they want to. They loved it. Just make the environment fun. And I think the guys got in. I think the other thing that we'd forgotten with working hybridly is how important the shared learnings are.
Yes.
And that knowledge and that interaction.
Yes. And just the 15 minutes conversations.
The learning, especially for new people. So, if you've been in an organization for a long period of time, and there's two counter arguments to hybrid. So, and I'm not saying I'm a proponent for either.
Okay.
I think you can make either one work, but working in the office, if you're a new staff member, it's absolutely critical that you learn from the seasoned leaders, the seasoned colleagues that help you handle the day-to-day stuff. That ability to just reach across the table and say, hey, how do I do this? What do I do here? That learning, we forget that learning's there. And so I think there's a whole generation of people who started new in various jobs that are probably missing out on that. Sure. On the flip side, you've got those seasoned employees that know everything. But the reality is, working from home the whole time is lonely. It's lonely. And we're relational beings. We need to engage. We need to talk to each other. So I think we forget that. And we forget the nuances. You can still, as a salty sea dog, you can still learn from someone new. So
absolutely. And you also don't only learn the work. You also 100%. Learn other personal.
Of course you do.
And you were going to tell Rulani and the team some of the other things you taught me that were not necessarily work.
I don't think I could have taught you much. I mean,
the other one with the gardening and all the rest.
No, that was a life lesson. I felt that Maanda's life wasn't as rounded as it should be, and that he was getting a little soft, and he needed to toughen up a little bit. So one of the things I challenged you, was that I know you're an academic and you've got an incredible thirst for knowledge. Yes. But that can't be the only thing that you know. So I felt that you needed to, on a Saturday, get a little bit more grounded, literally, and get stuck into your garden, mow your own lawn, dig your own garden, get some blisters, and just kind of learn what it's like to be actively involved rather than sit in your chair and read your book.
And I did that. No.
And how did it go?
That's bad. And then I sent you a picture of me reading a book in my study. I tried. And I did try.
And I tried to toughen you up. And then also with mountain biking, I also felt that being a roadie, you needed to learn how to improvise a little bit more and get onto a mountain bike.
I fell twice, if not 3 times, in one route, in one ride.
But you handled it well. So
No,
We'll get you back on a mountain bike. We'll give.
That was brutal. Good. So those are some of the nuances and sort of some of the lessons you get to miss out on, and not just learning about the work, but also just life in general, and learning different skills, which obviously haven't worked as much on my end. The garden still remains undone, and a lot of books are being read on the weekend. Okay, so now I imagine. So I remember at One Life, there was just such a strong identity of One Lifers. I'm curious about the journey towards the identity of belonging to the Clientèle Group.
Yeah.
And your thoughts on that?
And so I think it's key. A couple of things. One of the things that, and I'm very grateful to our shareholders and to both groups and both companies, that we agreed that we'd be able to keep the culture.
Okay.
Because very often with a merger, it's an integration.
Yes.
And the one thing that there was value in is there was value in the people. You know that the competitive advantage of any organization that cannot be replicated is its people and how they interact.
Yeah.
And it's a key strategic advantage. And I'm glad that the shareholders and the Clientèle Group saw that. So from our perspective, that was key.
Okay.
Then bringing it together, yes, your culture can get diluted. And one of the things that we're doing at the moment is we kind of kept the identity, maintained the identity, merged, and now it's okay, but where do we fit in?
Okay.
How does this all fit in? So one of the things that we're doing this year is to kind of map the group. So we've got a group identity, so group vision, values, mission, but we've got an individual company vision, values, and mission. And that identity I don't want to lose, because that's our competitive advantage.
Yes.
That's what makes us who we are. That's what we believe. We believe, and our One Lifers believe we change lives. Yes. And I honestly believe we do.
Yes.
Both from a client perspective, both from
the
people themselves and their family and their colleagues, as well as the shareholders.
Yes.
Because it's a symbiotic relationship between all of those. So it's about doing that. And if people buy into that, then their discretionary effort is incredible.
Absolutely.
And what they do is they do things with purpose, rather because they need to from a management perspective, or their KPIs say they can. Yeah. Because what we get from our people is far more than I can ever put into a KPI.
Absolutely.
And so their culture is important. What we've done is we've mapped the group's culture and One Life's culture. You'd remember we did the same exercise, because One Life had their vision, mission, and values, and then the group kind of did that, and we kind of worked it back into the group to align it. You'll remember what we did. Yeah. So the exact same mission we did there, and approach. So what we're doing is we're saying, well, this is what it means in One Life. This is what it means in the Clientèle Group. This is how they're aligned, and it's incredible. We might use different words.
Okay.
But the meaning is the same.
Sure.
And so, and we are very aligned culturally, which is very fortuitous. But good. I think that's helped us. So the program this year is to go with one of our values every month. So you'll remember, for example, passion. Passion is the same in the Clientèle Group as it is in One Life. Yeah. Integrity is the same in both two companies. Putting customers first is kind of One Life, and treating customers fairly as Clientèle. So you can see how we kind of map them together. But it's important that we create our own identity. And then what we did was we went back to our staff and we said, what does changing lives mean to you? Okay. What are the behaviors? Because you'll remember we mapped behaviors to each of the values. Yeah. And then we've gone back to them and said, what does changing lives mean to you in this environment? And what do we need to review from a behavioral perspective? And what we got from the team, and again, it's bottom up. It's not top down. Lovely. So it's bottom up. It's co-creating. Because then I feel a sense of belonging. I feel like I've built this company with my leadership rather than had it come down.
It was declared to you.
100%. So that's worked well. And then what we're doing every month now is we're taking one value, the corresponding behaviors, and then how we're refining those behaviors over time, and then crafting the behavioral statements and just refining those. Beautiful. So, and it's a program for the whole year. Sure. So every month we focus on one. Sure. And I mean, we invest a lot in culture. We do. And I think it's seen us through good times. It's seen us through bad times. to us through COVID. I mean, our results through COVID, yes, we paid out almost R500 million more claims.
Sure.
But we were able to keep the company together. We got the staff off-site at that stage. And remember, we were mainly call center within 3 days, which is an incredible achievement. And they were able to operate. The discretionary effort we got from the staff because of that was incredible. We actually had to say to them, you can't start work that late. You can't stop work that late. You've got to stop on weekends.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it's important that we kind of keep that momentum.
Okay, now, major optimization.
Yeah.
Potentially, there's a head of sales here at Clientèle. There's another head of sales here at One Life. Over time, what happens?
Okay, so you remember I said to you, one of the strategic intents of bringing these companies together was we said that each company, and we spent billions of rands on building One Life's brand.
Yeah.
Clientèle have two. It makes no sense to lose those brands.
Sure.
Absolutely no sense.
Sure.
From an entity perspective, we've got separate entities.
Okay.
So it's a bit like I don't want to use some of the other competitors' structures, but we've got a group holding company, and then we've got separate legal entities, and brands that go out to market. Each of those companies target different target markets.
Okay.
Their propositions. So you'll remember that what we did is we mapped our products and the proposition to various target markets through various channels.
Yes.
So we had different products serving different target markets through different channels. That's one of the reasons that One Life brand can stretch from lower mass market, where we've been incredibly successful, all the way up to the high net worth client base, which we're also incredibly successful with, both through direct and through brokers. So we are able to stretch a brand through that. What's unique is there is some overlap. So there's very definitely overlap. There's overlap in the lower mass and the mass market. One Life is also serves a mass affluent market. So that's unique to One Life. Through various channels, be that direct, be it through high net worth brokers, that's it. On the lower mass market, there's an opportunity to leverage learning. So let me give you two synergies. That's just two very simple things that kind of worked really well for us. One Life had robotic process automation.
Yes.
We put this in place a couple of years ago. I think it really helped us during COVID. Why did it help us during COVID? Well, we were able to pay our claim out within 5 kind of hours.
Sure.
Instead of 3 weeks, which most insurers were doing, because they were battling to get the documentation. What we had is we pinged it into the bureaus, we pinged it into various databases. We were able to use robotic process automation and various decision matrices to be able to make a decision, pay a claim, and send it out. Where most insurers couldn't. I think that it really helped our brand and it helped our company. It helped our company because of word of mouth. Because people know that we pay claims and we pay them quickly. Now, we take that strength and we've got that capability and we say,
I see.
we got funeral on the Clientèle side. Let's leverage some of the opportunities we've got. Let's take artificial intelligence. So you remember our quality assurance.
Yes.
And I mean, in a call center environment, which is about half of our business, that you need to quality assure and assess and make sure that clients are protected and that the customer experience is great.
Excellent.
We've worked with startups, and we actually worked with a startup that we've kind of worked with them from the very beginning. Now they've expanded worldwide with their proposition, but we can QA, and basically we could QA, we don't at the moment, QA every single interaction with a customer through AI.
Sure.
Now, what that means is that from a customer
and Venek and all the...
So we're almost there with Venek. At the moment to the English, we're about, Venek, we're about 80% there.
Lovely.
But we're almost there. And I think once we're there, we'd be able to go to pretty much all the calls.
Excellent.
And so what that does is it gives you capability at scale to measure sentiment, to real-time assess the customer interaction, and you're able to address anything immediately. It's helped us. Now, that same technology we can take across the broader group.
I am with you.
And then there's stuff that we've learned. So, for example, Clientèle's, they're really good in the collection space. So, we've learned stuff from the team. So the synergies are great. You asked about bringing 2 sales teams together and that type of thing.
And then the 2 heads of brand and the 2 actuarial scientists.
So what we've done well, which I think is good, is we're running the company separately. Okay. Theoretically, we could compete head on head, but we measured as staff on a group result.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It means that although we've got the individual pride of this company pitted against this company, and yes, there's some overlap.
Yeah.
But yes, we theoretically competing.
Yeah.
And we do.
Yeah.
But as a group, we've got a common objective, and it's in our interest to make sure the group succeeds. And I think that's helped us, and that's also helped the alignment. So the teams are separate. So we run separate sales teams. We where there's shared services, so where there's natural synergies. So, for example, in some of the more back office operations, so your governance, your risk management, your compliance, your finance, all those kind of shared services.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense
And
to
the group buying of marketing spend. I
100%. I mean, where you can leverage those synergies and those opportunities. But I think the other thing that's helped us is one of the things we did very early on is we brought all the leadership across both organizations together, and we said, what are the opportunities? Where are the synergies? And it's amazing. I mean, you're a consultant. You do exactly this kind of thing. Yeah. You facilitate. Yeah. And what we did was we facilitated the various teams, and we said to them, here's a framework. And we used a very, very simple framework to say, what are the size of the opportunities? What's the length of opportunities? And to kind of T-shirt size them and that type of thing. Yeah. Your typical 4x4 matrix type thing. Yeah. So we did that with the teams. And we said to them, go off and debate and discuss and share your processes. So share what you do and see if there's any opportunities. What came out was incredible.
Sure.
And the synergies that we can take into the future are incredible. But it's more than that. Okay. It's the fact that there was collaboration.
Okay, good.
And people were working in a non-threatening environment.
Okay, good.
To be able to say, hey, you do this, I do this, how can we do this better?
Sure.
And I think that for us has really helped and assisted the business in driving that.
But I think you keep repeating this part. These are two separate businesses. Yeah. You will not be collapsing two CEOs into one.
I don't know what the future holds, but as we are now, the objective is that we run these as separate companies. It makes no sense to collapse the brands. None. Sure. Makes absolutely no sense, because if you invest that, I mean, remember we've been going for 19 years. I mean, Clientèle's been going in excess of 30 years. Sure. You don't want to lose that brand equity, and I think you can operationalize stuff. So where there's streamlined processes, or where you could share process flows, or where you could share ideas or approaches, I think, over time there'll be collaboration and alignment. Yeah. And there might come a time where there might be some alignment on certain operational roles, but on the whole, that sense of identity is important. Okay. That sense of purpose and that sense of achievement to drive my company, my brand is there. So I don't foresee that in the future.
Okay, good. So just for me to also see what's happening inside, what sort of meetings are happening, I don't know, at a middle management layer, at Clientèle, and at One Life, where, I don't know, the sales meeting are run together, the customer experience steercos are in both teams together. What happens? Or is everything running in parallel rails?
So everything is running parallel. Where there's opportunities to collaborate, there definitely is. So, for example, various customer services. Let's say customer services, for example. So the customer services execs would sit together or attend each other's meetings, and would share ideas. They meet regularly to share ideas and that type of thing. Operationally, no, there's no need to kind of integrate it at that level. So, but what we do is we do recognize the teams. So, for example, if we've got, you'll remember our awards functions and all that type of thing. There's total alignment from that. So you have the guys competing head on head for the team of the year. The number one person from a growth perspective or whatever. So
so lovely. I want to use the last part at a personal level now. So I think beautiful conversation and the many things you've done to make the the integration work, the results, I think, or maybe I'll let you share the results from the first year of operation.
So let me firstly say that I'm incredibly proud of the One Life team for achieving what they did and their maturity. And I'm incredibly grateful to the Clientèle team.
Excellent.
For making us feel so welcome. And then together, it's been absolutely amazing how people have come together.
Lovely.
And with a shared kind of purpose of making this work and kind of making the most of this merger.
Excellent.
So that's the key kind of thing from my perspective. One of our objectives was to ensure that we weren't distracted through the merger and from a performance perspective.
Yes.
So what I can tell you is, I mean, the results are out and that, so you'd have seen them come out on Monday. What I can tell you is One Life's had the best year it's had ever in its history.
No way.
And from a sales perspective, we exceeded targets. Embedded value, recurring embedded value, VNB, profit, book size growth. We've had the best year we've ever had. And I think it's just a function of focus.
Are you hiring?
I'll always take you back. I'll always take you back.
Starting.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing, and it's all credit to the team. They've been amazing. They really are a very special group of people. Very proud, and I'm very proud of them.
Oh, excellent. Beautiful. Now, at a personal level, just this journey, probably let's say a 2-year journey, how are you sort of navigating the uncertainties and, there's a lot that you knew about how things worked within the TIH group and just leading with a lot more I don't know. How have you sort of personally navigated that?
So I'll start off from a shareholder perspective. I think we are very fortunate. We have incredibly progressive shareholders.
Good.
And very innovative and very considered shareholders. So that was fortunate. We on both sides with both companies, the executive leadership are incredible. Their vision, their pragmatism, and they're just good people.
Lovely.
And so I think that helps. So I've been very fortunate. I must admit I've been very fortunate. I can't say that there weren't stages that I wasn't, I don't know, maybe nervous, kind of cautious. Is this going to work? Isn't it going to work? I think what we did was we engaged very early. And we kind of started building the relationship of trust with the senior leadership and bringing the senior and executive leadership together very early on. And I think that helped. I think with any merger, you don't know exactly what you can try and control everything, but as a leader, you cannot control everything. So you need to be flexible and versatile in being able to kind of manage the circumstances that are thrown at you. So I think from that perspective, there were stages where I was like, what's this mean? But I think on both sides we communicated clearly, which is important. We communicated frankly and honestly. There was no subterfuge. The discussions were straight. The discussions were robust. They were tough discussions, but we made sure that we had the right discussions up front. So there wasn't any uncertainty, and there was no. If we didn't know, we said we didn't know. If we did know, we were truthful and we were direct about it. And we didn't fudge things, we didn't masquerade, we just said it as it was. And I think the team appreciates that, the staff appreciates honesty and transparency, and it served us well. Personally, there were times when I was like, whoa, and it's like having two jobs. It is like you're trying to run a business and you're pulling it all together. Then you're trying to get
multiple stakeholders.
But then it's also synergies and how do we maximize this and how do we optimize this? I think things have finally started to kind of settle down a bit now, and now it's about focusing on delivering what we need to, and we're in a good place.
Good. And then when you are in this space, what does Laurence do? Do you go for a ride? Do you go and mow the lawn? What happens in this?
You know me. I just work hard. So I think I must admit I haven't had a lot of opportunity in the last 18 months to kind of take time out.
Okay.
I think and I mean that's been kind of a lesson. I mean it's obviously, we used to talk about seasons.
Yes.
And so there's always going to, in any leader's life, there's going to be seasons or times in your life where you're going to have to make compromises.
Sure.
And you're going to have to just head down and graft. And I think this was that season. We just practically just had to do the work and get stuck in.
Yeah.
And I mean, days, nights, weekends, through holidays. I mean, it's been all out.
Sure.
I think that the one thing is, and you'll remember we used to speak about, if you're there, be there.
Sure, yes.
And what I mean by that is if you're with your family, be there.
Yes.
Don't be on your phone.
Yes.
Don't be scrolling through your phone, and I'm not perfect, but don't scroll through your phone.
Yeah.
Don't have your mind on the last work discussion. If you're with your kids or if you're with your wife, be in that moment.
Excellent.
And make sure that moment counts.
Sure.
If you're with your staff, make sure that that's what counts, and with the team. So I think focus and discipline was what helped me get through this.
Sure.
And just so when I could take time out with the family, I did.
Yeah.
And I made sure that I did not compromise on them and didn't give them half of me.
Sure.
They had 100% of me. It might have only been for a very short period of time, but they had 100% of me.
Excellent.
And then from a work perspective, the same. When I was there, I'm there. And so I think that helped me get through. There was no balance. I'm not even going to try. There's just no balance.
Yes.
So I'm kind of looking forward to kind of getting on the bike again,
Yes.
Hiking up a mountain again,
Yes.
and doing stuff that really matters for perspective. I couldn't go to the places that I didn't have the time to go to the places I would normally have gone to think.
Okay.
And you'll remember that if I really need to think, I climb a mountain.
Yes.
And you get real perspective
Yes.
because you're on the edge.
Yes.
And so I didn't have it, but I'd go and have mini time out. So I'd get into the bush, do that type of thing, try and think. Just take some time out to the family.
Lovely. Just stunning lessons. So we asked all our guests. So maybe first of all, thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for the many years of leading. And thank you for pouring into me and giving me so many opportunities. I'm still learning even as we do the podcast. So thank you for all of that. And also thank you for making this major a successful one. We teach in business schools, and there's just way too many examples. And I think almost every year, the MBA students and the master students, there will be a topic on like post-major integration. How can that be successful? And I'm hoping we can write a case study soon on how we have made it successful here with Clientèle and One Life. Now, before we conclude, we ask all our guests these two questions. One, just one challenge to all our listeners. And two, if there's a book you can recommend or any resource or a website or a podcast.
Okay. So to the podcast listeners of SuperLead and Maanda's students and whoever else would be listening to this, my challenge to you is to consider in your work and in your place how you can change lives. How you can make an impact, not just in your own communities, but with the people that you directly have influence over. So my challenge to you is, what can you do to change others' lives?
Stunning. Lovely. Now that's challenging me too already. And then any recommendations? You used to give me too many books to read and podcasts and any one or two of those.
Okay, so I'm currently listening to a podcast. It's All In podcast. It's pretty controversial. Okay. I'm gonna say listen to it.
Yes.
For perspective.
Okay.
Not necessarily because I agree with all the content.
Good.
One thing I do like about it is It's an international podcast. It gives you a little bit of perspective in terms of what's happening economically. It is very American. So you get insights into the American economy, American politics, and innovation.
Okay, good.
And so the group of entrepreneurs, from an innovation perspective, I like it. From an AI perspective, if you're interested in AI, which we are, it's there. It is quite futuristic, so I like it because it kind of challenges the thinking. So yeah, it might be something that you do.
Yeah. What's the podcast?
All in.
All In. Oh, so it's called All In.
All in podcast.
Okay, good. Lawrence, thanks so much.
Yeah, Maanda, all the best to you and the SuperLead team. I think what you're doing is incredible.
Thank you.
Kind of where you've got to, Doc. Can
you believe it?
Amazing, and well done. I mean, I wish you all the very best. I mean, you run a good show.
Thank you.
You're an incredible leader, and just wish you all the very best to SuperLead.
Lovely, thank you. Laurence Hillman, everybody.
Cool.